Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to this week's Monday morning style session. I'm going to be talking about prints today because I get so many questions about prints and I know they're confusing. And let me just state from the very beginning that part of this is subjective, but it's subjective based on my trained eye as a personal stylist. So yes, there are going to be prints that I call modern that you hate and prints that I call dated that you love. That's where personal style plays a role. Prints are very, very tied to personal style. So it's very hard to separate what you like from what's modern. So I'm here just to show you what's modern. And then your personal style kicks in at that point and you decide what you love and what you don't love. So we're going to look at a couple of ways that we can start narrowing down prints when we're looking on a website. So I just went to Nordstrom and I searched print because I wanted the full range of prints that are available. First thing I would encourage you to do is to check the brand. You want to look at contemporary brands only so that you can start training your eye to see what a modern print looks like. So for example, this Farm Rio bodysuit, that is a modern print. Farm Rio is a contemporary modern brand, and so their prints are going to be more modern. Vince Camuto, on the other hand, falls into more of a classic category. So leopard print is fine. It's totally one of the safe prints I talk about all the time, but you don't want to look at Vince Camuto for suggestions on the types of prints to go for. Veronica Beard, another modern brand with modern prints. You may not love this print, but it's a modern print. So we want to look at the brands first and filter by brands. Let me see if Nordstrom will let me do that here or if I need to do it up here. So when you go into clothing and you're looking at brands, contemporary is usually a section that you can find. Okay, we're just going to look here at Veronica Beard. Veronica Beard is one of the modern brands that's known for good patterns. So when she has patterns, the patterns are really nice. So, you know, a simple but cool plaid, a small scale floral. This is a cool kind of geometric print, looks like. Yeah, that's a Veronica Beard print. Now, that's a cool modern print. You can see it's part of a cool modern outfit. I'm going to get to that in a second. But what you want to do when you look at a print like this, whether it's from Veronica Beard or any other contemporary brand, you want to start training your eye. Here's a stripe from Veronica Beard. Here's a check. Here's, you know, plaid shorts. You want to start training your eye. I'm going to go to another brand here. Farm Rio is another contemporary brand. So if you're looking at contemporary brands, Alice and Olivia, Farm Rio, Veronica Beard, Vince. Okay, Farm Rio is a very statement-making contemporary brand. Their patterns are not for everybody. I personally love most of them, but it's very linked to personal style. But I want you to see what a modern splashy print looks like. This is a modern splashy print. Now, again, like it or don't like it, they're modern. So here is one that many of you might consider a little bit more wearable, but it's a modern version of the Farm Rio statement prints. Right? It's a tropical print. It looks like a pretty classic print, but this is a modern tropical print as opposed to some of the ones from more classic designers. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to check the brand. You're going to check and see if it's a contemporary brand or a classic brand. If it's a classic brand, I'm going to search Vince Camuto here as an example of a classic brand. Now, classic brands are brands that really target the over 40 market. I actually really like this. This is great for a body type orange or green, that sweater. But we're going to look at the patterns from Vince Camuto. Now, when you're looking at a classic brand, you want to stick with really, really simple patterns. So a simple leopard, a very simple stripe, or a very simple plaid. So here's like a tweed, here's a leopard, here's another leopard, here's a floral. That's what you're going to skip. That's what you're going to skip, because that is not a modern floral. Now, if you compare that to the floral that you just saw from Farm Rio, you can see the difference between this floral and the Farm Rio floral. That said, let me look at this floral from Vince Camuto. That actually is a pretty cool floral. But as a rule of thumb, you need to look more closely and judge more harshly the florals from the classic brands. So you're looking at buying very simple, or looking for very simple, don't know why this isn't coming up, very simple pieces from modern brands, from classic brands, and you're looking at, oh, this is a whole Vince Camuto thing here. So yes, stick with very simple patterns from classic brands like Vince Camuto, and go for more of the fun statement patterns if you're looking for those from the contemporary brands. Again, they're listed in the contemporary section on most of the sites. So let's see if I can find another example. So that's a very small kind of leopard print that can work. This is fine because it's tone on tone. It's a leopard print, but it's tone on tone. It's almost a non-print. Let's see if I can show you some Vince Camuto prints that maybe are not your friend. I showed the floral already. That's a no. Looks definitely better in this style than the other style. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Here's leopard. It's mixed leopard. But it's fine. So even when Vince Camuto does a decent pattern, they add it to a top that is not going to be cute. Same here. The top is dated, even if the pattern is okay or borderline. So this is not a bad print, but again, to be on the safe side, stick with the leopard and stick with the stripe, or stick with a very simple, like the stripe like that. Even though that's a sequin stripe sweater, I'm not so sure how I feel about that. See that? So they'll take a pattern like this is a metallic jacquard and they'll put it on, and it's just a combination of pattern and item together just do not work. Here you go. Here's a stripe that should be a simple stripe, but it's not. The fringe at the trim, is actually very modern, but the stripe itself is not. So that's the first tip, is really, I want you to go into, pick a brand, Alice and Olivia, pick a brand that's a contemporary brand, and just scroll through the items in that contemporary brand and look at their patterns. Look at their patterns, and then look at your favorite brand through that lens. Once you start seeing, oh my goodness, those pants are amazing. Once you start seeing those, what modern patterns look like, your eye will start picking out the frumpy ones and the cool ones. It will start to become second nature to you. But you just need to look at what's out there. Okay, the next thing you want to ask yourself is this a simple print or a statement print? You want to learn the difference, obviously, between simple prints and statement prints. Like, even though this is definitely a statement dress, the tweed is a simple print, right? That's a very simple pattern. Whereas the dress next to it, that's a statement print. So you want to know the difference, because you want to be able to shop the statement prints from the modern brands like Alice and Olivia, and your favorite brands, whatever those favorite classic brands are, you can shop the simple prints from them. Now, often we get mixed up because they add a lot. Like, for example, this is a stripe, but it's not a simple print. It's a statement print. It's got the Space Face, branding on it, right? Maybe you would look at this and you would be thinking, oh, this is pretty subtle. This is a subtle print. This is probably a simple print. It's not a simple print. It's still a statement print. It's just in subtle colors. Same with this one here. It's definitely a statement print. It's just in a more, subtle color palette. Whereas I would say floral with white, one color and white, that's a pretty simple print. So again, statement print here with the Delora dress. This is definitely a statement. This tweed, definitely simple. Simple with the tweed, statement with this tile print, simple with this tweed again. She's got a lot of tweed going on. Definitely statement with this silk shirt. I'm sure by now you can tell. Now this is kind of borderline, this striped silk. It's striped, and I love it. It's striped, but it's kind of, I would say this is kind of in between simple and statement. It's more of a statement stripe. This blouse, definitely statement. This blouse, definitely statement. Again, you're not going to love all of these items, but they're all modern. This looks like Versace back in the 80s, this print. Okay, so first, check the brand. Second, determine if it's simple or a statement. Shop the statement prints from the contemporary brands, the simple prints from the classic brands. Then the final thing is you want to look at how the style and the print go together. Now I'm going to go back to Vince Camuto for this, because what often happens is a perfectly good print is ruined by a perfectly bad silhouette, or vice versa. A good silhouette is ruined by a bad print. So let's see some examples here. This print and silhouette are both bad. However, if this print was on a better silhouette, it could work. So here, this print is a very simple print, and it's on a modern style, so that works. But if they put that print on something crazy like this shirt, which is really bad, their plaid ruffle sleeve top, here you've got a pretty simple print on a bad style top. So if this floral was on this top would look, the floral would look so bad just because it's on that silhouette. So here, okay, so it's a leopard print tone on tone, solid color, right? That print on something else could look borderline, but this is a very simple, basic, like silky button-down shirt. So you can get away with a lot more on simple pieces. So for example, a very simple style like this button-up shirt that we have here, even in one of the prints that's not a modern print, is going to look a million times better than this blouse silhouette in any modern print, right? So this blouse is a dated blouse. It's not a cute and not a flattering blouse. And one of the reasons is because it's a combination of that pattern and that silhouette. But this silhouette brings down any pattern, whereas a basic silhouette like the button-down shirt that we saw will make any pattern look better. Let's go back to Vince Camuto. We're going to go back to the main Vince Camuto page again. Yep, that's where they're going to send us. And again, when you see a model looking super stylish in something, it's because she's a model. Now, I actually really like this dark crew neck sweater. I think it looks really modern. And actually, Vince Camuto looks a lot better this season than it has the last couple of seasons. I feel like they have a new designer. Everything in general looks much fresher and much more modern. But this is a brand that comes up a lot, so I kind of wanted to show you what the hits and misses a little bit. Again, here's another example. This pattern on its own, this pattern on this button-down top, or the button-down top that we showed up there, would work a lot better. But this pattern on this top, not so much. So it's the combination, the intersection of style and pattern. That's why when someone shows me a little swatch of a pattern and asks me whether it's modern or not, on some of them, it's a clear-cut answer. On others, the answer is it depends. It depends on what the item and the looks like in that pattern. It depends on what the item looks like in that pattern. Again, you can get away with a lot more when it's a very simple, just button-up shirt than you can when the silhouette is a little crazy and the pattern needs to update the silhouette. Okay, just when I thought it was safe to shop Vince Camuto. What in the world? You guys, I've talked about these a million times, right? So I think we covered this, but it's not just this horrific silhouette with the highlight right there in at a woman's like private area. No one wants to highlight that. But this pattern is horrible. It's really a horrible pattern. Oh my goodness. So here, the pattern and the style are both bad. So I hope this was helpful. I can cover more and more and more of this. I know, again, keep in mind that this is subjective. Like, what's modern and what's not modern is not necessarily subjective, but what you like and what you don't like, absolutely subjective. Patterns are definitely a sign of personal style, and I try very hard to keep my own personal preferences out of these videos. As a personal stylist, I like everything. I like everything. I like every type of personal style, and that's why I can look at something that isn't for me and say, this works, this doesn't work, because I love it all. But we want to pick those patterns and prints that are modern, that also suit our taste, and that are also showing up in modern and cool silhouettes. So that's the goal. Actually, I like this floral cotton poplin dress. That's the goal, is to find something you love on a great flattering silhouette in a modern print. And if you need me to do more videos on this and show more examples, I'm happy to do it. Trying to keep these shorter so that you can get through them and get some information and go on with your life. This blouse is just really, really bad. Really bad. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just have to show just before I leave. Look at that. It's got a double layer. And then it's got that horrible asymmetric hem where it comes up in the middle. What in the world? What in the world? That double layer doesn't hide anything. It does nothing. For those of us with a big bust, it's probably going to make us look like we have a shelf. But, oh my goodness, just say no. That is a hard pass. I don't know what they were thinking with that. That was really, really not cute. Okay, I'm rant over. I am done. Let me know if you have any questions about prints and patterns. I know you probably still have tons more questions, and I will do more of these. But let me know your specific questions, and I will try to cover them in a future video. Love you guys. Have an amazing week. I'll talk to you later. Oh, really quickly, boot camp is kicking off. I'm just going to go here today, but it's not too late to join. It's not too late to join. So next round kicks off today. It is completely self-paced, so you can pause and start again whenever you want. But we have a new live round starting today. If you want to join us, just go to nettamanley.com/bootcamp or styleconfidenceclub.com/bootcamp. Would love to have you hop in and join us, and let's get that wardrobe ready for fall. Love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.